welcome to my channel. Hello if you are new here. Today's video is going to be a recap of weeks 4 through 5 of my pregnancy. I am currently 6 weeks pregnant, and so far everything's going really good. I can't even complain about the nausea. So it's more like this weird feeling where you feel sick to your stomach, but you're not actually throwing up, which in comparison to my older pregnancies, that's really good. I don't know the difference as to why I was sicker with my earlier pregnancies compared to with my son. The only time I threw up the entire time during his pregnancy was when I was 30 weeks, admitted into the hospital for preterm labor, and they gave me, I think it was magnesium sulfate, to help stop preterm labor, and it made me very nauseous. So that was the only time I threw up during his pregnancy. And I feel like if they hadn't have given me that magnesium sulfate, I probably would be able to say I never threw it up during his pregnancy. Where with my older 4 children, I was sick and I was like throwing up, and it was awful. There's no answer to the, do I eat, do I not eat, can I eat? It was just surviving day by day. So this pregnancy, if it seems similar to with my son, my 2-year-old, I am going to be so grateful, because I'm just sick enough that I feel like, okay, things are going well. Just making sure that, the pregnancy's progressing, but not so sick that I feel like I can't do anything. But I've definitely been tired, feeling hot, that whole thing. I still have the whole problem with, I feel like I have too much saliva in my mouth. And so I notice when I go back and I edit the videos, I'm swallowing all the time, and it's annoying. It's for me, because I'm not used to that. And I don't remember that being a problem before I got pregnant. So that was definitely something that I'm really hoping that eases up soon. And I think it kind of ties into the nausea thing. But aside from that, this upcoming week, next week, Thursday, we are going to have our first ultrasound at the RE's office. So I'm fingers crossed all looks good there. The other thing is, just as I'm comparing my pregnancies from the earlier pregnancies to my pregnancy with my 2-year-old, I'm definitely noticing a lot of differences between the age. I mean, I totally embody the idea of we're only as young as we feel and believe we are, but at the same time, even just trying to conceive, I noticed that it definitely was more challenging as I was older, and I can't deny that. I mean, I went from having 0 losses in my earlier years to having 2 losses back to back, and I mean, I didn't really try for my older children, and then now it was I just genuinely trying and still not getting pregnant, even though I should have had everything lined up, stars aligned and everything for me. So I can definitely tell that there are some age-related factors affecting my fertility. So that's where, diet, maybe not, I didn't exercise, I'm being totally honest. Exercise doesn't seem to really matter for me, but I'm trying to be active, just because I don't want to have swelling and other problems come up throughout the pregnancy. In fact, the week before I lost my daughter at 16 weeks, I had a life insurance examination, and she noticed that my legs were already getting swollen. And when they did do blood work on me, when I had my miscarriage, they noticed that I had elevated ANA levels, which is like an autoimmune response. So my goal is, I want to still stay healthy, watch my macros. I'm not doing keto or anything like that. I mean, if you look at my carbs, they're somewhere around sometimes if I'm not paying attention, they're as high as 50%, but most of the time they're 40% and under. And then protein, I try to keep no less than 20% at this point, because it's really hard for me to want to eat a ton of protein with what I'm craving, because what I really want is I want salty things, and it just doesn't really, I mean, I'm not really wanting a ton of meat. I noticed that it can give me headaches, and I noticed that if I'm eating a certain amount of protein, that I just don't necessarily feel great, even if the nausea is at bay. So it's kind of a weird feeling to describe. But so far, everything's seeming to go really well. I am starting to have to watch my weight, and I'm not even necessarily eating more. I think it might be water retention or bloating, but I'm also having to take Colace now too, because aside from taking Citracel, just the increase in progesterone that my body's producing being pregnant, I'm noticing that I'm not as regular as I used to be. And that's problematic because you don't want things to be painful down there. You've got enough going on in that general area. So yeah, I'm taking Colace. I love my prenatal vitamin, but I really wish that they would ship quicker, because there was a time period for like about a week that I had to revert back to a different prenatal vitamin that I had on hand, because the Ritual prenatal vitamin that I prefer, their shipping schedule was not shipping on auto ship in a way that it would just pick up right when I ran out. So that's one thing I don't like about them, but I absolutely love the vitamin. Overall, things are going great. I can't complain. My husband's been there and super supportive with everything. So I'm just looking forward to next week's ultrasound and seeing where it goes. But thankfully, no severe nausea, just really tired and just not feeling like myself. Like, to the point where, yeah, you do feel like you're gonna throw up, but you don't actually. So the other symptoms, like breast tenderness and things like that, I don't really experience, but at the same time, this is like my 8th pregnancy. So maybe at this point, my body's kind of tuned out some of that, or and I wonder too if that's why, like, even though my HCG looks good and everything, that maybe that's why I'm not as nauseous with this pregnancy, and I haven't been with the pregnancy from my son, my 2-year-old. So I don't know, but it'll be interesting, and I will keep you guys posted, and I will do an update next week just to let you know where everything stands. But so far, so good, and until next time, bye guys.